5 reasons dogs never forget kindness. Have you ever wondered why a dog can remember a gentle hand for the rest of their life? Not a big gift, not an expensive toy, not a perfect home, just one moment of kindness. A soft voice, a patient touch, a person who did not walk away, a person who made them feel safe when the world felt cold. That is the beautiful mystery of dogs. They may not remember life the way humans do. They do not keep calendars. They do not replay old conversations in words. They do not sit quietly thinking about dates from years ago, but they remember feelings. They remember who hurt them. They remember who scared them. And above all, they remember who was kind. Because to a dog, kindness is not small. Kindness is survival. Kindness is safety. Kindness is the moment when a frightened heart begins to believe again. Today, we are going to talk about 5 reasons dogs never forget kindness. And by the end of this story, you may look at the way your dog watches you a little differently. Reason number 1. Kindness becomes safety. To humans, kindness can feel like a nice gesture, a smile, a soft word, a gentle touch. But to a dog who has known fear, kindness can feel like the first safe place they have ever found. Imagine a rescue dog entering a new home for the first time. The floor smells unfamiliar. The walls are unfamiliar. The voices are unfamiliar. Even the silence feels unfamiliar. They do not know what will happen next, so they stay near the wall. They watch every movement. They sleep lightly. They wake at every sound. And in those early days, the smallest kindness matters. A bowl placed down gently. A person who does not force eye contact. A quiet voice from across the room. A blanket placed nearby. A hand that waits instead of grabs. To a fearful dog, that patience becomes a memory. There was a woman in Ohio who adopted a nervous shelter dog named Cooper. Cooper did not bark. He did not growl. He did not destroy anything. He simply stayed close to the back door, as if some part of him was always ready to leave. Before someone decided he did not belong there, the woman bought him a soft bed. He ignored it. She bought toys. He ignored them too. But every evening, she sat in the same chair, opened a book, and read quietly. She did not call him over. She did not reach toward him. She did not try to prove her love too quickly. She simply stayed, night after night. On the 9th evening, Cooper stood up, walked across the room, turned around twice, and lay down near her feet. Not on her lap, not leaning against her leg, just near her. But to Cooper, that was everything. Years later, whenever that woman sat in that chair, Cooper came to her, not because he loved the chair, but because that was where kindness first became safety. Dogs remember the person who gave them time. Reason number 2. Kindness is remembered most during fear. Fear opens a dog's memory in a powerful way. When a dog is afraid, they do not think clearly. They are feeling everything. The noise, the vibration, the strange smell, the sudden movement, the unknown. And in those moments, your reaction can become something they carry for years. A thunderstorm, a car horn, a vet clinic, a crowded street, a strange dog barking behind a fence. A dog may not understand why the world suddenly feels dangerous, but they understand who helps them through it. A harsh voice can make fear heavier, but a kind voice, a steady presence, a calm person who does not panic, can become an anchor. One man in Texas had a golden retriever who was extremely afraid of fireworks. Every time there were fireworks, the dog ran into the corner of the closet. He pressed himself into the corner, shaking, panting, eyes wide. For years, the man tried to make him stronger, called him out, told him there was nothing to be afraid of. But the fear did not disappear. It grew. Then one summer, something changed. The man stopped trying to fix the dog. He turned off the bright lights. He sat down and spoke gently. No lecture, no frustration, just simple words. I am here. You are safe. I will not leave." The dog did not come out immediately, but slowly. His breathing changed. His body stopped shaking as violently as before. And after a long time, the next year, when the fireworks started again, the dog ran toward the corner of the wall, then stopped. He looked back, straight at the man, as if something inside him remembered, not the exact words, not the exact night, but the feeling. "When I was afraid, you were kind." That is why dogs never forget kindness during fear, because fear tells them the world is dangerous. Kindness tells them they are not alone. Reason number 3. Kindness teaches a dog that humans can be trusted. This reason may be the most emotional one, because some dogs do not enter our lives empty. They come with history. Maybe they were abandoned. Maybe they were shouted at. Maybe they were ignored. Maybe they learned that humans were unpredictable. Maybe they learned that love could disappear without warning. And when a dog has been hurt before, kindness does not work immediately. It has to be repeated again and again and again until the dog begins to believe that this person is different. There was an old dog named Rosie who had been returned to the shelter twice, not because she was aggressive, not because she was impossible, but because she was quiet. Too quiet for one family, too nervous for another family. By the time a retired man adopted her, Rosie had stopped expecting much from humans. She did not rush out to greet him. She did not climb onto the couch. She did not bring toys. She simply watched. Every day, the man took her on the same slow walk. He let her stop whenever she wanted. He let her sniff the same fence post for as long as she needed. He never pulled hard on the leash, never became impatient, never treated her sadness like a problem that needed to be solved quickly. One afternoon, months later, Rosie did something new. She looked up at him during the walk and wagged her tail once. Just once. A tiny movement, almost nothing, but the man stopped walking because he understood that small wag was not ordinary. It was hope returning. Kindness had not erased her past, but it had written something new beside that past. Dogs remember kindness because it helps them trust again. And when a dog who has been hurt decides to trust, that trust is not casual. It is a miracle, built by each gentle moment. But the next 2 reasons go even deeper, because dogs do not only remember kindness in fear, or in rescue, or in painful beginnings. They also remember kindness hidden inside daily routines, and they remember the people who still love, even when life becomes slower, quiet, and difficult. Reason number 4. Kindness becomes part of their daily world. Many people think dogs only remember big moments. Adoption day, the first ride home, the scary storm, the visit to the vet. But dogs also remember repetition. They remember things that happen again and again. The morning walk, the way you call their name, the sound of your car, the hand that scratches behind their ears before sleep, the small piece of routine that says, "You are safe here." To humans, these moments may seem ordinary. To a dog, they become the shape of love. A man in Colorado walked his dog every morning before work. The same street, the same corner, the same coffee shop window, the same small patch of grass where the dog stopped every time, as if some historical event had happened there. Most mornings were not dramatic. No perfect sunrise, no life-changing adventure, just a leash, a quiet sidewalk, a man and his dog moving through the new day together. Years passed. The dog grew old. His muzzle turned gray. His steps became slower. One morning, he could not finish the usual walk. He stopped in the middle of the road, looked up, and waited. The man could have pulled him forward, could have felt frustrated, could have said, "Come on, we don't have time." But he did not. He sat down on a bench, right there, beside his old dog. The world kept moving. Cars passed. People walked by. The morning grew brighter. But for a few minutes, nothing mattered more than letting that dog rest. That was kindness, not dramatic kindness, not heroic kindness, everyday kindness. The kind dogs remember most. Because over time, a dog begins to understand the pattern. This person does not only love me when I am easy, this person loves me when I am slow, when I need time, when I cannot keep up, and that memory stays. Dogs remember kindness because it becomes the rhythm of home. Reason number 5. Kindness is remembered because it feels like belonging. This is the deepest reason of all. Dogs never forget kindness, because kindness tells them, you are a part of my life, not just an animal in the house, not just someone who is fed, not just a responsibility. Family and belonging is something dogs feel deeply. They want to be near the people they love. They want to be included in the quiet moments. They want to know there is still a place for them, even when life changes. The house becomes busy. A dog grows old. The family rhythm changes. And sometimes, without meaning to, humans stop noticing the dog the way they used to. The dog who once sat in the center of the room begins lying in the hallway. The dog who once brought toys stops asking. The dog who once followed every step waits from far away, not because they stopped loving, but because they are wondering where they belong now. A family in Georgia brought home a newborn baby. Their golden retriever, Molly, had been the center of the home for 6 years. Then overnight, everything changed. The baby cried, guests came, doors closed, everyone was tired. Molly did nothing wrong. She did not bark. She did not demand attention. She simply lay outside the baby's room, watching, waiting, trying to understand. One night, the father walked down the hallway and saw her there, still awake, head resting on her paws, eyes open, as if she had been asking the same question for days. Am I still part of this? He sat beside her, placed one hand on her head, and whispered, you are still family. That moment may have lasted only 1 minute, but to Molly, it became a memory. Because kindness is not always giving something. Sometimes, kindness is reminding someone that they still belong. And dogs remember that for years. They remember the hand that reached toward them when they felt forgotten. They remember the voice that included them. They remember the person who made space for them in a changing life. That is the real message sent to you in this video. Dogs never forget kindness because kindness changes how the world feels. It turns fear into safety, pain into trust, loneliness into connection, confusion into understanding, a house into home. And maybe that is why dogs love with such loyalty. Because when you are kind to a dog, you are not just doing something nice. You are becoming part of their emotional memory. You are teaching them what love feels like. Not perfect love, not loud love, not expensive love, real love. The kind of love that sits on the floor during a storm. The kind of love that waits for trust to grow. The kind of love that walks slower when their body grows old. The kind of love that forgives mistakes without breaking the bond. The kind of love that says, you still matter. One day, your dog may become gray around the muzzle. Their steps may slow. Their hearing may fade. Their favorite toy may lie untouched beside them. But when you enter the room, they will still know. This is the person who was kind to me. This is the voice that made me safe. This is the hand I remember. This is home. So tonight, look at your dog a little differently. The small kindness you give today may not feel small to them. A calm voice, a patient walk, a gentle touch, a moment of forgiveness, a few minutes of real attention. These things can become memories your dog carries for years, maybe even throughout their whole life. If this story reminded you of your own dog, tell us in the comments. What act of kindness do you hope your dog remembers forever? And if you believe dogs deserve to be understood as deeply as they are loved, subscribe to DogMind Tales. Because behind every wagging tail, every quiet look, and every loyal heart, there is a memory kindness left behind. Therefore, we are always discovering new things about our beloved dogs to convey the best messages to your dog, and we will see you in the next story.